Dead Space 3, they had to switch it all over to Frostbite, and it was just a gigantic pain in the ass. And because I know all of EA Mobile is pretty much straight up and down Unity, um, and I think most everything else there is Frostbite or as close to Frostbite as possible. I'm not sure what Maxis does though. I think Maxis is using Frostbite, but I don't remember. I have to go ask Ivan who works there. Alright, so pre-stage screens should kill bots. Alright, we have the jumps are tracked, lands are tracked. So we can upgrade the stat tracking widget to support tiers. The other thing I want to have is ball touch ground tracked. Let me think about that. The times the ball hits the ground. That's a tough one though, because the ball is like constantly hitting the ground when it's on it. So it's, I guess we could use that sound effect whenever it plays the sound effect that counts as a hit. It's got enough force on it. What would be another reason, another way to do this than adding another stat? Stats aren't bad. I am still here. Alright, let's just do the ball land. Let's just do ball land. Let's do that. Let's call it bland because I can. And welcome, Karakan. You are awake now, I guess. I think Adam will be on after he deals with all the things that have to do with his life that prevent him from streaming. I don't recommend it. Having family and they take time and effort, and you have to like do things like say hello to people, and that's just a pain in the ass. Half awake, yeah. Yeah, I know how that is. What I'd like to do here is I'd like to get to the point where the UI stuff in stage is good to go. So I can go concentrate on making missions this week and stuff like that. Alright, so let's go to our game data and our data CPP. And then our transformation utils. So many cases. Yeah, this is what I was complaining about earlier, is I never set up the stat enums very well for all the trash I had to deal with. So I'm just paying the price now of all the trash that I've created for myself. And I will definitely have to, get that working at some point. We get a Visual Studio, you're failing to build because I modified a header file and saved it. Now you're really freaking out. Like, maybe you could abandon the build without me having to wait for you to fail even more. No, it doesn't look like it. It's just going to continue to not do anything useful. What is the other thing? I need the... There is one more thing which I'm not thinking of, which does have these stats in it. Where is it? Where is it? It's not in the widgets. It's in the thing that loads the thing. Is it in the level utils? No, I don't think so. It's on the tip of my mind, but it's not there. Oh yeah, it's in here, isn't it? And no, it is not the... It's not a game mode option, so I don't need to worry about it. Alright. Regardless what anybody says, Visual Studio is still better than Eclipse. Yeah, Eclipse is... Eclipse. I don't have any real problems with Visual Studio. The only issues with Visual Studio I have are with Visual Studio plugins that do a really shitty job on everything. Eclipse is also okay. It's not the best thing ever. The problem I see with people using Eclipse is usually they load it up with a whole bunch of plugins that are all shit and it just locks up. You still can't get Insight to work with Vulkan? That is unfortunate. I'm assuming that it's NVIDIA Insight with all that. Let's see. They've got their Visual Studio Edition, blah blah blah, for debugging all the CPU and GPU shader code stuff. Yeah, well, I'm glad Unreal has profiling stuff in there. That's always nice. And at some point I knew how to use Pix and actually step through and look at all that crap, but that information lies in the deep, dark corners of my mind that are unused, which is most of it, but it means at least I don't know where it is. Okay, so what's the next thing? I need to actually report the ball lands to the local player state then. And I don't know of anywhere where the ball land stuff actually is called from C++. Let's take a look and see if there's anything in there with actual objects with the ball. Value 33 is already used. Thank you, switch statement. That is actually helpful. I don't have a ball actor, do I? Just a level. When I have an object actor, that object actor is pretty much the ball with all this post-physics state crap for interpolation. But it's not an actual ball object, so I don't have any of the code in there. It's going to be inside of the ball blueprint. I've got something that reports when to play the sound, and that's probably the right place to put this. Yeah, I don't know. I just never use plugins for things. Because they just cause all sorts of awful things to happen with IDEs where stuff just breaks. The worst is when somebody writes a bad plugin that deals with a network connection. So I'm looking at you, Perforce plugin for everything. So it's like, all right, well, the right way that this plugin is implemented is it'll call on the command line to call Perforce to call a remote server to run a command on that server. And we're going to signal that whenever you save a file or start typing somewhere. We'll just automatically do that. So as soon as you open up a file and try to do something, I'm going to wait for 15 seconds and I'm going to tell you that you don't have an internet connection. That sounds like a great plan, doesn't it? Because I'm sure you didn't already know that. Too many L's? Too many L's. Alright, so once I get the ball touch stuff tracked, too many L's again. Oh, it's because it's bland, not bland. So once I get this done, I'll be upgrading the stat tracking widget to support tiers and the count up to the tier satisfaction. What are you laughing about, Sanacron? Are you laughing at me? Some stupid look on my face? Because, yeah, probably justified. So ballland needs to go be reported by this thing. We'll call get local player state and set it. Get console? What? Are you get blaming somebody? Because that's a useful command. Or complaining about perforce versus get. And we started off this project using get. It's not very friendly for artists. It's not very friendly at all. Alright, well, we will see you when you get back then, sir. Alright, so we need to go to that ball. We need to go to where the ball actually bounces and crap like that. Min time to play effects is a freaking 0? Oh, Jesus. That's probably not what we want. Alright, so this is going to be on ball land. Let's just do that. Oh, it's delayed? Really? I'm using the... Let me see what delay I'm getting right now. I'm using the new, like, very short delay sort of stuff. So let me see. It's about 5-6 seconds is what I'm seeing. So it should be much better than what you're seeing, like 30 seconds. So let's go modify that mission. We're back before stream printed out that I was BRBing. Yeah, nice. Alright, let's add a win condition here, which is going to be ball lands. And 10. So let's go see if it works. I need to export the mission. Is this not a static method or something? Yeah, it's a static method. Why is it requiring a target to execute? That's just silly. That's just silly. Yeah. You're back. Visual Studio plus Visual Assist not nearly as shitty yet. Yeah, that's true. I I don't use the tomato though because I never got used to using it, so I don't need it, so I don't use it. I don't know. It's one of those things. Pretty much, I wasn't working in Visual Studio after college, and two lands. So we pop it up, bump, bump. That was two lands, yeah. Oh, that's devastating. Excellent. Oh, the ambient upset goal picture. It's definitely true. Yeah. Basically, all this in-game UI right here is placeholder, and Adam, the artist, he's working on it. He'll probably be working on some of it later today. So I threw my picture in there for own goals because he hates that picture. So he's gonna have to go change them. So he has to go change all the animations for all that stuff. So all this is placeholder. We were waiting to see if he would actually discover it, and he did yesterday, and he discovered it yesterday. Karakan was kind enough to clip that. Yeah, that's definitely true. That's what I did for all the UI screens that I make. Pretty much, I make all the screens super ugly as hell. So like this screen right here, that's what I created in WebKit for everything. And I'll have to go win the mission real quick. Oh man, I'm gonna lose this mission, aren't I? Alright, I need more air jumps. And then I need wall jumps. There we go. Now we win. So the post mission screen now looks like this, but I gave him the mock-up that looks like that. So, so he has to go fix it. Alright, so we got all that tracked and working. So the next thing is upgrade the stat tracking widget to support tiers. Alright, well I'll be right back and I'll get started on that. Hit time, jumps, lands, obstacles touched. Excellent. And this is test data, so that's why there's only 2 people on the leaderboards. Alright, so I need that PCUI, the tracked stat widget. I mean, there are only 2 people worthy of being on leaderboards. Well, we have the real leaderboards in production. And we actually have some pretty good data on there now. We actually have a top 50. We've got the top 50, and Karakan is number 1. I have dropped behind Jeff by 70,000 fucking points. Damn. I need to play more, obviously. Oh man, and there's actually, the people on here have actually won matches to be on there. Who's at the top of the worst board, though? That's the real question. It's still Technatic, who... This is supposed to be a joke board that people could get to the top of by being awful at the game, but it's turned into just the people who are awful at the game having the board that makes fun of them. So we might have to take that out at some point, because it's kind of mean. Okay, so what we need here is for the track stat. Should I make an entirely new widget, or should I try to make this widget work with the stat? So the question is, we're going to want the current tier rank with like a grayed out version of this thing. I'm just trying to think about how this would look. Because it's basically we want to replace this in progress with something else. And then we want a next. So we're going to need one of these guys. And we put it off over on the end, in like this. So this will be next tier. And can we change the opacity? So like 0.5? We just need a little bit more room, don't we? Well, let's just make it... Let's just give it a little bit more room then. And did that change how our track stats lists work? No, it does that. Alright. So if we go to our object here, this guy, which is next tier, which is a variable, so we need to go to our event graph and use result tier. So if this is false, then we want to status image next tier. We'll get this guy and we'll set visibility to collapsed. Otherwise, let me see. Alright, you're gonna get some sleep. Nice chatting with. Hope to see more. Yeah, alright, so thanks for sticking around, asking questions, and having a good time. Go get some sleep and enjoy yourself. Alright, so we want to grab the tier list. Well, this thing is already set for some of these other guys. Alright, so update stat, get local player proxy, stat changed. Alright, so update stat, set the text based on the condition being met. Okay, so it's basically if use result tier. I think we'll need a achieved tier. So what is this? Result tier. Is it completion tier? Yeah, there it is. Alright, so this will be if the condition is met. If this is use result tier, then basically we need to get the tier list, break it. You're getting an exception before main? You linking in something that runs some static code which blows up? I've had that happen before. Alright, so if we're looking at... Alright, so it's if bronze... Yeah, I need to delete this. So it goes bronze... Platinum goes to diamond. And why don't we also have another return value here, which is going to be if we can achieve it. Can achieve. Alright. So can achieve is true. And can achieve will be true for all these guys. See if this works. They are missing a static declaration on a variable, although a single file program. Yeah. A static declaration of a variable caused an exception before main. So you made a variable, you instantiated a variable that wasn't declared, and it exploded? What? Okay, so if so we set the text, and then basically if we can complete it, we'll do this. So any conditions not met. So it's going to be if any conditions not met are completed, then any conditions not met is false. So why don't we just do a not? And then get next tier. Can we increment? Yeah, that's pretty not very good. gold, platinum, diamond. No, this one needs to go to silver. This one, silver, silver, gold, gold. Yeah, there we are. So silver to gold, gold to platinum, platinum to diamond, and diamond to nothing. You didn't compile the exact example, but the steps I comment will cause my program to not explode. Let me see. What, cell buffers? I mean, isn't that just supposed to be a local variable or some shit? Like, what? Is it? Are you working in C? Is that what this is? And there's something that has to do with type defs and crap like that? I don't remember. Okay, so if any condition is not met, so we have achieved them, let's get the next tier, and we'll set our achieved tier to the next tier. Why are we stopping the in progress animation? Oh, because yes, okay, that's good. We could actually get rid of this. We're not going to be playing the in progress for that guy. So we'll play our animation, set brush from texture for our stuff. Now these are all good. So what we should do is play the first met success, and then we actually need to switch off of our achieved tier. This is like we were working on bronze, we achieved the next tier. So achieved tier was none. Right. Yeah, think about it. What am I doing? Alright, so it's the get next tier for condition. So we already returned the tier that we are working on. Is that correct? So none is working on bronze. Alright, so we got all these brushes that we're setting from all these textures. And we also need to do the same thing for the, not the status image, but the next tier image. Okay, so for bronze, we're going to set to silver. And then these guys will set to gold. These guys will set to platinum. These guys will set to diamond. And this guy will set to invisible.